Morning, everyone, and thanks for coming in. And it's quite an honor to speak right after the minister, so I requested him to stay for a while, although I know he has to leave, so I won't take very long. I'll keep my remarks very short. This is not the first time I've spoken at this forum, and I think one of the great parts of the India IGF is that it lays the ground for what is going to come up later next week when the IGF forum happens. One point the Hon'ble Minister touched upon, which I completely agree, is generally India's underrepresentation at the global forums when governance issues are discussed. And I think that's one area, Hon'ble Minister, we would love to seek your guidance and support to how to ramp it up. The whole idea that the India Internet Governance Forum is able to talk about governance issues, and I'm sure you want to hear from those who govern and not from those who get governed. And to the friends in the press, I know everybody's question to Secretary Sir will be, when are the rules being released? I'm sure that question they will save for you later in terms of an example of good governance. I think one of the best parts of what I have learned over the last few years here is how the Indian policy making has evolved so much that I would say it is one of the most participative than I've ever seen in any of my counterparts across the company, where not only are consultations opened up during drafting of the law, but eventually after the law is made open for consultation, and then in India, the unique part being the rule-making process, which is also very consultative. So I would congratulate the government and commend of the way it has been progressing over the last few years. It has only gotten better. And what it has led to from a governance perspective is allowing companies to represent pretty openly and in an institutional manner. Gone are the days when you would play the shadow games, getting articles written, etc. I'm sure that's still our mainstay, but the fact is that one can approach this government pretty directly, pretty openly, and make a representation saying, hey, as a part of the consultation, we think this is not in the right direction, not because it will hurt me, it will hurt the industry. So one thing which has happened from those who are governed perspective as well is we have also elevated the debate to say, what can enhance the industry's potential? That's number one. So we have leapfrog not only in terms of technological adoption, but in the way governance has happened in India. I'll give just two quick examples before I stop. The other is India's offering. Honorable Minister, you mentioned about UPI. India's offering on DPI at these forums is now seen as the benchmark. There was a time when everybody used to say, oh, it is only India unique. And I remember Amrita was here last year. I spoke at the closing ceremony here. And I said, when I take UPI or I take DPI to my global forums internally in the company, they used to be zapped. Now they are saying, how can we do it elsewhere within the company? Payment is just one example, right? I mean, when we talk about the health stack, etc., everybody's kind of quite excited. The question is, how will it happen? And that revolution has to be led by institutions which are quasi-government, participation of the private sector, etc. So not only in policy making, where we have evolved and become more participative, in our offering from a technological solution, we have also become very participative. The other aspect, the minister touched upon the use of AI, and here I would like to spend a couple of minutes. Minister, you talked about large language models today, and I can brag a little bit about the concept of open source AI, where some of our large language models, Meta's large language models, are being adopted for Indian solutions, Indian innovation. Kisan AI being one such example, where they have built their own LLM using the base foundation of Llama 3.1. My simple submission at a governance forum like this, and Secretary Sir will agree, I want to also cite an anecdote from a meeting a couple of weeks ago where the Secretary Sir was there, but just to kind of enhance the, highlight the value of open source AI. One, that it allows innovation to happen locally. Two, it is in line with what India stands for when it comes to open source technologies, open source standards. And third, the most important is that it is not exorbitant for Indian startups to adopt. So those are the three main drivers I feel open source should be looked at very, very carefully. And there has to be a revolution towards that. One piece which I wanted to highlight, and it was discussed in a not a bilateral G2G meeting, which was participated with the private companies. The Western fear on AI, like you said, is job losses. The Indian excitement about AI is opportunity. I think the Western hype about, oh, let's regulate them more, they will lead to destruction of human civilization, is because I think they are looking at the other end of the stick, whereas we in India have to look at the opportunity. how we will create more jobs, we will create more companies. I think Dilshed is here. I'm sure AI is mainstay in some of the analytics that you do. I think AI is a massive opportunity for India, and I've heard from a governance perspective very good noises where we don't have to bring in laws to regulate AI. There are enough existing laws. We have to look at the fallouts of AI and use existing laws to do that. Having said that, I think I know I'm being very bullish. I am genuinely very bullish as a person as well. I think India is a land of massive opportunities. For a company like Meta, our role is to be a digital enabler, a digital ally, and we are very excited that Digital India's overall mission is so headed in the right direction that forums like these are a great opportunity, like the Hon'ble Minister said, as to what is our AI, what is our action item, and our action item should be to make sure how can we be more supportive of this very open and consultative forum, this one as well as the one which we have with the government, and take India's position to the world and showcase that we are the third way, in fact a better way of governance of the internet, which is such a big opportunity. Thank you.